Data Graphs by Data Language, Effortless Structured Data Management. In this video, we're going to show you how to create a data structure for a domain model within Data Graphs. We're going to use food as this example domain model. These are the main elements that we need to structure together. We call these concept types. Each concept type or class has a relationship with another concept type. A dish might be for an occasion. It will contain a collection of ingredients and is part of one or more cuisines of food. That dish will also have recipes, and those recipes will be created by a chef. Now let's see how we can recreate this data structure quickly and easily with data graphs. We're going to start with the outermost types and work our way in, as this is the most efficient data entry method. So let's begin. First, we're going to create our occasion dataset. For the purposes of this how-to guide, we're going to make all of these datasets public, but Data Graphs also gives you the option to create private datasets, which would then require OpenID credentials to access the data via our API. We can then choose the type of data. We have many pre-canned type templates you can use, but for this demo, we're going to use a custom concept and call it occasion. As you may notice, we're using plurals for the dataset name because it is a collection of occasion concepts, and then naming the concept type in singular form to match the domain model. For this concept type, we're going to choose manual identifiers. This means that you as the user will provide the identifier when you import your data. We're happy with the label property for our concept, which is already there by default. We can then review our custom dataset features and then save the dataset. We're then going to follow the exact same pattern for the other two outer concepts, ingredients and cuisine. Now we're going to create a dataset for dish. We're going to make the dataset name dishes, and then the concept type name dish. Instead of manual identifiers, for this one, let's choose automatic identifiers. This means that Data Graphs will generate random identifiers for you for every dish that you add into the system. For this dataset, we're also going to add some custom properties. So let's create a property that will allow our dish to have a description. This property is going to be in text format, and we're going to make this description property optional. And now we're going to add 3 more custom properties for dish to link it to our previously created concept types. First, we want to create a link to occasion, named for occasion from our domain model, and choose occasion in the data type dropdown to link that to our previously created concept type. We're going to make this optional too, because we might not want to associate a dish with an occasion. And we're also going to allow multiple, which means one dish can refer to multiple occasions. For example, roast turkey could be for both Thanksgiving and for Christmas. Then we're going to link dish to ingredient by creating an ingredients property, and again linking it back to our previously created concept type labeled ingredients. This time we're going to leave optional unticked because every dish is going to have ingredients, and we're going to tick multiple because there will be more than one ingredient. And finally, we're creating our custom cuisine property and linking that to our cuisine concept type, which is going to be mandatory because all dishes have a cuisine, and singular because we only want one cuisine for each dish. We then have the opportunity to review our schema and edit the properties with this edit button before we go ahead and save the dataset. We're then going to create our person type. We're calling it people because it's a collection of person entities. For this food example, we could even be more specific and call it chefs. We've already got a pre-canned template for person, so we're going to add this one to save us time and choose automatic identifiers. This pre-canned type already has given name and family name. For this example, we don't care about our chef's date of birth, so let's delete that property. It also includes the option of storing an image URL, so that we can have a headshot of our chef in each instance. We're going to make this property an image preview, review our properties, and then save our chef's dataset. And our final concept type is going to be recipes. The property name doesn't always have to be label, so let's rename this to title instead, as it's more appropriate for a recipe. We're going to add another description property to our recipe in text format, which is optional. And let's add a steps property for the recipe's steps. These are going to be mandatory, and there are going to be many of them. We're going to link this recipe type to our chef type, but keep it optional, just in case we don't want to attribute a recipe to a particular chef. And finally, we're going to link our recipe type back to the dish type, so that each dish must have one recipe attached to it. Let's review this and save the dataset. We now have the entire schema recreated in data graphs in about 4 minutes. The next step is to import your data and build your sophisticated data structure, Data Graphs by Data Language, effortless structured data management.